Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Orange Juice News and Notes from around the world of Insoles. I am your host, Owen Kenoy. We are back after a 1 week hiatus. We are officially halfway through the year, and we were doing a 250th celebration for the great nation of the United States, but also just taking a family vacation. Mallory and I actually spent time at Tom and Marcia's place. So for those of you who are maybe new to the show, this is a family podcast, and my sister Mallory is co-hosting today with me. Hi, Mallory, and we're all just on vacation together.
Hello. Yeah, and I got to also check out the new Orange office that is underway, and I'm very excited about it. But yeah,
Yeah,
overall, great trip. Good to see all the family. But we are back, and we have some awesome content coming up for you.
we are in the, since you brought it up, we're in the home stretch for my new or the new Orange office. So stay tuned on that. We're very excited for the big reveal. We just have a little more painting and some furniture assembly. So we're in the home stretch. But today's topic, especially coming off of the 4th of July holiday, is relevant for me. But we're going to talk about the easiest ways to eat healthier. So we don't want to necessarily dive into like diets or specific like full blown meal plans, although some of those things definitely can be useful depending on who you are and what you're doing. Today we're talking about, hey, like more generally, what can we do just to eat a little more healthier, incorporate some more protein, fruits, veggies, and just like whole foods into our everyday diet. So that's where we're going to get started. And I know this has been an evolution over the years, where like I just remember Mallory, for example, like our Aunt Carrie would always put like I think black beans and brownies, but it was really good. And like I don't know, it's just like there's so many at the time. I was just like, what in the world is this? But anyways, there's so many different things that you can do, and I hate beans, but I like those brownies. So like for instance, that like you can easily jazz up what you're already cooking or doing and just make it so much healthier.
Yeah, a lot of these are inspired by things I've actually like done before. And yeah, it's not anything crazy. It's a lot of, ingredients you probably already have or, have heard of. They're also pretty cheap swaps and additions, which is also just a little quick add on. Like something I think is important is sometimes, when we're thinking about eating healthier, we think about what we're taking out of our diet. Like, I'm not going to have sweets, I'm not going to have soda, I'm not going to have processed meats or whatever it is. So today I think we're focused a little bit more on what you can add to your diet to eat a little bit healthier. And yeah, we just want to make it easier for you so you don't, have to reinvent the wheel here. Just what are a couple things you can maybe add or swap out in foods you already kind of eat.
I'm so glad you said that too, because for me, I've been working on my nutrition a lot this year so far, and I've actually been able to lose some weight because of it as well. But it's been sustainable. The reason being is I'm at a point where I've got a routine down where I don't need to say no to pizza or to ice cream, or if I do just want like a soda when I'm watching the game, I'm kind of building that into how I'm eating my everyday meals as well, and accounting for that. And it has made it so much easier for me to not feel like I'm kind of trapped in like, hey, I can't have this, I can't have that, exactly like Mallory said, where it's like, hey, just, and a lot of the things I'm doing actually are things that we're going to talk about. So it doesn't have to be, like Mallory said, all subtraction. You can still have the good stuff.
Yep. And the first swap, which is one of my favorites and one I've done for a long time, mostly because a lot of us do have coffee in the morning, whether that is just straight out of the pot or we like to go to Starbucks or your favorite coffee shop. It's a big part of most of our days. And instead of the creamers, the, more syrupy sweeteners and that kind of thing, something I really like to do is add in a protein shake as like my creamer or to make a latte. My favorite brand is the Premier protein shakes, but there's a lot of good ones. I know a lot of people also like the Fairlife, like Core Power ones. There's a billion good ones out there, but it's just a really easy swap. I've even seen people go to your Starbucks and like they'll get an espresso iced, and then they'll get it in a large cup, and they'll dump the protein shake in and make their own iced latte. If you're not, really into the protein shakes or flavored coffees, you can even just use a higher protein milk, like Fairlife, or I know some have added protein. And that's just a really easy way to like boost your protein right off the gate with your coffee, and just also reduce some of that sugar and, higher fat kind of creamers and that kind of thing, which just adds a lot of calories. So you can still have a nice, sweet, fun kind of coffee, but with a lot more protein that's going to keep you full, and probably less of like a crash too, if you tend to have like a bit of a sugar crash after your coffee in the morning.
Well said. And what I was going to add on was, yeah, just like, I mean, adding the protein in itself is going to be a huge boost. But this actually, I guess, would be something that we're taking away, even though I said we're not taking anything away. But like for sweeteners, if you are going out for coffee or whatever, I would challenge you just to try, like, hey, can I get light flavoring in this or half the amount of flavoring and see if you like it. And my guess is that it'll still be pretty sweet, and it might just get the job done for you. Another, I guess, just like healthier alternative that I've done at home. So if you're someone who makes coffees a lot at home and likes a sweetener, is just using like maple syrup, just a standard natural sweetener. Obviously, you don't want to go overkill with it, but it's just an easy solution that also adds a really nice flavor as well. So yeah, definitely think about your coffee. If you are someone who could use a little bit more protein or just a little bit more, I guess, uh, like energy really throughout the day and just like a more substantial diet, adding that to your coffee can be super simple. Or at least just think about like, hey, how much sugar am I adding? Can I eliminate it? Can I substitute it? Can I at least reduce the amount? Maybe it is something that I would say. So this next one I feel like is an up and comer. So for me, like my algorithm has a lot of like healthy food hacks and stuff, and I'm definitely seeing this one a fair amount lately is like adding cottage cheese. So you can add cottage cheese to all sorts of different things. Scrambled eggs is an easy one. I think Mallory does that, but you can also do it like in buffalo chicken dip, or even add to like mashed potatoes or mac and cheese. But it can also be like a healthy substitute as well. So for us, I'm not kidding. Tonight for dinner, we are adding cottage cheese to our lasagna. So instead of doing like a ricotta, like high fat, like milk based cheese, well, I don't know why I said milk based, like high fat cheese. We're gonna do like the high protein, low fat cottage cheese. And I honestly don't even notice the difference, especially when it comes to like lasagna. The other thing that you can do as well is like make dips with it. So I know Greek yogurt is something that you can make dips with, but I actually recently just made a cottage cheese dip as well, which I was doing like a Mexican theme, where I wanted like something with my healthy chips, and I blended like it was like cottage cheese and lime and chipotle peppers and did like a little Mexican dip. But cottage cheese is super versatile. You can pretty much add it to like, I mean, so many different things. And what's nice is you can just Google now too. Like I'm like, I'm making it up like yeah, lasagna with cottage cheese, and it'll tell you how to put the cottage cheese in your lasagna and make it taste good, or pretty much anything. And you're gonna get a recipe with it somewhere in there.
Yeah, I feel like lasagna's a good one because the texture is similar to ricotta. But
Yep.
I think for a lot of people, the texture of cottage cheese really throws them off. And in a lot of these recipes, they'll have you blend it. So it's even more like closer to like a cream cheese consistency, than the chunks. So if you're someone who's like, ew, I don't like that, that
Yep.
usually, solves the problem pretty easily, is just blending it. And then it's really easy to hide in those like pasta sauces, the buffalo chicken dip, and that kind of thing. Just because even for me, sometimes the texture is like not my favorite. I'm kind of picky about it. Another really easy way, and I feel like this is a big one for parents that we hear about a lot, but also if you're just like an adult who does not like vegetables, this is also very helpful. Is I think pasta sauces and pasta in general is such an easy way to hide vegetables. Walter is my boyfriend who I live with, love making butternut squash mac and cheese. You can also add like carrots and onions, and then you just blend it all up and add it to the pasta sauce. Tastes really good. And again, it's just those hidden veggies. Bolognese is another one where I'll throw in like zucchini and peppers and mushrooms. And just if you dice it up about a similar size to like ground meat, it's really hidden kind of in there and you don't really taste it. And then another one is just like I love adding spinach to like cream based sauces, like my like chicken Alfredo and that kind of thing. I think it just kind of blends in pretty well. Adds a little bit of color, so it makes it a little more fun to eat. If you throw in a little basil too, you really just don't notice. So, kind of hiding those veggies in pasta sauces is a really great way to sneak veggies in, and like it's not hard to eat pasta. I think we all love it, especially if you add a little cheese on top. You really can hide it in there. So again, it's more about what you can add in this case.
Totally agree. And then I guess just as you were describing that, I couldn't help but think about how sometimes like we'll make like homemade soup, and I just feel like that's also a really good way to incorporate these veggies. And it's just like, I don't really like eating just like roasted zucchini. It's honestly not my favorite, but if it's well incorporated into a soup or whatever, like I don't think twice about it. So another easy way to just get veggies in like soups and pasta sauces and that sort of thing. Uh, this next one is actually a very popular one in my household right now, especially with my toddlers. They love smoothies. So a great way to obviously get like great like fresh fruit or frozen fruit in there. That's going to be a good source, of course, of nutrition. But then also you can add other things as well, like frozen spinach or even fresh spinach. If you add like frozen cauliflower rice, that's something as well that you probably won't taste. Your toddlers definitely won't call you out for something like that. They won't think twice about it. But you can also add like oats to make it a little bit more of like a heavy meal. Like my daughter doesn't really eat a ton in the morning for breakfast, so what we started doing is making these smoothies. And we'll add oats, and then we'll add chia seeds, and then Greek yogurt, of course. And it's just like a more complete meal, I guess, than just like throwing fruit and juice in a blender and calling it a day. But even for myself, I've found that drinking a smoothie has really helped just like me be more satisfied, especially like from one meal to the next.
Yeah, and if also another quick hack too is if you're trying to not just only get more veggies in, but also more fiber, and you're someone who likes to eat rice, adding like half rice, half of the rice cauliflower is the easy way to sneak those veggies in, but also just incorporating more like lentils and quinoa. They're also just higher fiber and higher protein options than rice. And you again, you don't have to give up the rice, but maybe you do like a half and half blend of a couple of these things, and it's a really great way to even like stretch your rice out or like stretch out some of your money with these things. So
Yeah, and with the like rice and grain bowls, you can do so many different things with that. Like the first thing I think of is we'll do like an Asian bowl, but we'll also do like Mexican bowl, almost like you're going to like Chipotle or something like that. You can easily do like an Americanized version where maybe you do like chicken and avocado and like some healthy ranch or something like that. So that's just like a such a good go-to for us, where it's like if we just have rice, or we actually have frozen rice cauliflower readily available, where we'll just like mix that or match that with our protein and our veggies and get like a sauce and call it a day. So super easy. Also, there's just some easy ways to like upgrade your grains. So I know everyone, it seems like if you're starting to think about like eating healthier, you hear like white bread isn't the best for you, and that sort of thing. And yes, it's true. Whole grains are definitely going to be better, mostly because they actually take longer to break down. They make you fuller for longer. And the like general like flour tortillas or white breads and those things, they just break down super quickly. So I just mentioned tortillas. That's one that I also do a lot of. So for lunch most days, I'll actually do just like a wrap, but getting the right tortilla is key. The high fiber tortillas are going to honestly just be a lot more filling, and you're not going to notice really much of a taste difference at all, if any. So obviously being aware of, like, again, the types of carbs you're consuming, but going for the higher fiber options when possible.
And really quick mini like keto carb lesson. A lot of these like higher fiber tortillas are marketed as low carb or like keto friendly or that kind of thing. So some people do this again, this can be a very quick explanation, do more research if you're interested, or we could do a podcast about it. But when people are doing keto, there's either the total amount of carbs that they're trying to reduce, so I'm just eating low carb in general, or they do their net carbs, which is your total carbs, so say I ate 100 carbs minus your fiber, so then I ate 30 grams of fiber, and then so then my net carbs are only 70. Does that make sense? As like a quick. So a lot of these, that's why these are high fiber tortillas, is it doesn't mean, and just because they're keto, that they don't have carbs. It's just because the net carbs on them are very low because of how much fiber is in it, which also means be careful. A lot of like one tortilla in some of these brands has like your total daily fiber. So if you're not used to fiber, it might upset your stomach. Just make sure you're drinking a lot of water and maybe like ease into it. That's just my like, quick warning.
Yeah, don't
But
have like 3 chicken quesadillas or something all at once. Like, definitely be careful with those, and yeah, go from there.
yeah, yeah, it'll surprise you. But yeah, there's like so many great options, even with like bread and bagels. There's like a ton of higher protein options. Like Owen mentioned before, if you can go for more of those like seeded breads and those whole grain breads, it helps. Even like crackers, I love the brand Mary's Gone crackers, because it's fully like seeded, full seeded crackers, and I'll eat them like as a meal with chicken salad and stuff because they actually keep me full compared to like if I ate just butter crackers or something. So definitely go more whole grain. But again, there's a ton of just like higher protein options out there, which if you're someone who like loves a bagel every day with cream cheese, but you're not really getting any protein with it, maybe, consider making some of those like minor swaps just to get a little bit boost of nutrition, like we've been saying.
100%. And the more healthy foods you eat, like, really translate to having more energy and being in a better mood. So it's kind of like, hey, why? And also maintaining a healthy weight and lifestyle, right? So it's like, why? All of those reasons, which are great things for you. Protein pasta is another one that probably should have mentioned earlier, just when we were talking about like pasta sauces and whatnot. But if you haven't heard of it or seen it, there's one. It's called Banza. I feel like is the popular brand in like most main grocery stores. It comes in like an orange box is basically what I would look for. But looking for like a protein specific pasta, Banza is made specifically with chickpeas, which is nice. Some of them do like a blend where it's like half like whole grain pasta or whatever, and then half whole grains and half chickpeas made into pasta. So just make sure you check that out if you haven't, and it just turns it into, again, a more fulfilling meal, opposed to maybe just like if you're someone who likes your pasta and red sauce or whatever, you're not really getting a ton of protein with that.
Yeah, and again, as someone who's pretty well versed in these products, some people struggle with the texture of Banza because it's made out of chickpea. It's a little different than normal pasta. I don't think it's bad at all. I just think it's different. One of my favorite protein pastas is the Barilla one. I think they use pea protein in it. And I just like it if you're someone who's, again, like a big pasta lover. To me, it's the closest tasting and texture-wise to normal pasta. Like, it tastes completely the same to me. And that one's also on sale a good amount, too, which is a little bonus, or at least at my
I'll actually
grocery
give you
store.
that one. I'll give you that one, Mallory. I noticed the exact same thing. And then I was just at a friend's. Maybe I shouldn't share advice I haven't tried yet, but I guess this is cool. He said that if you just like cook your pasta and then rinse it, like after you strain it, rinse it with some hot water. Sometimes that kind of just helps like rinse like that kind of like chickpea flavor or sort of thing off a little bit, because sometimes it almost forms like a little film or something like that. So maybe just give it an extra rinse. But I'm pretty picky on switching on things. Like I'm the person who I'm like, nah, like I'd rather just have the real thing. And protein pasta is actually a pretty easy switch for me.
Yeah. Again, Walter, like literally, I feel like this is his episode in a way because one of his dishes he makes all the time is butternut squash mac and cheese with protein pasta. Like, and it's a complete
Yeah,
meal. You know, it's
it is.
what he's eating is mac and cheese, but it has protein, it has veggies. Like, it works. Another thing I do a lot, and this one is like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Is I like adding beans to things. They're cheap, they're high protein, and they're high fiber. So when I do tacos, I usually do like a pound of ground meat and a can of beans. Stretches my meal out a ton too. I have a lot more servings. Obviously, in chilies, soups, again, those pasta sauces, I love blending white beans into stuff. It's really also great in like I mash white beans into avocado toast, but I went through a phase too of I made this skillet, which was white beans, like spinach, sun-dried tomatoes, a can of normal Alfredo sauce, and I'd eat it with sourdough, and that was so good. Like it's such a random like little meal, but oh my gosh, it was really good. So don't sleep on beans. There's a whole variety world of beans out there too. So if you don't like black beans or pinto beans, maybe you like white beans, or you just need to try them in some different ways. Or even like cowboy caviar, great example. A lot of veggies, a lot of beans, eat it with tortilla chips. If you're someone who likes to snack, it's a really great snack to boost your protein and fiber, and it tastes delicious. So,
Yeah, I was sharing with Mallory. We had some baked beans at our Fourth of July cookout, and I was just sharing with her that beans for me, I just can't do it. It's a texture thing, so that's why Mallory led that section. Uh, but something else that I like to lean on are seeds and nuts. So seeds and nuts obviously are just like a good snack in general that you can go to that are going to be a little bit more nutrient dense and overall just nutritious. But you can also use them as an add-in for things like added on yogurt or oatmeal or even like salads. But getting things like chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, like shaved almonds, all are super easy things that you can add. Um, this place that I go to, it's like a catering place. It's super not healthy, but they do green beans with slivered almonds, and I just feel like that's a really good combination too. But then you stop and you think, you're like, that's actually a little extra protein that is pretty good. So a hack there. What I would encourage you to do is maybe just like buy one or two things, keep them on hand, and be like, hey, could I add these to what I'm making right now? And I feel like a surprising amount of times you'd be like, yeah, I actually can. It'll be a good addition.
yeah, it's a really easy boost. I especially like it on like oatmeal and things, and every day I have my oatmeal that has hemp hearts and chia seeds, and it's always really good. All right, we have our quick rapid like round of a couple just extra bonus ideas. First one for me is one Owen kind of mentioned is Greek yogurt. Great for like dips. You can mix it with like a ranch packet. And then also it's a really great alternative to sour cream. It's too bad that Marcia isn't here, but because oh my god, does she use Greek yogurt as sour cream all the time? It is her favorite thing ever. Um, like I already kind of mentioned, is just like adding mashed white beans to things. It's a really nice creamy element. It actually can kind of replace like cream in soups and things. I know it sounds crazy, but once you try it, it has like a similar, like it just adds that heartiness, it adds that richness without adding a ton of extra calories and kind of fat, which is not always a bad thing, by the way. Just, we're trying to reduce a little bit and add a little more protein and fiber. Um, and
This is
then
so when you go for that full fat ice cream, you feel good about it, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And speaking of, that's kind of my last one that I have is dressing up like the things like your sweets and things you already love that maybe is not as healthy. So instead of just having the ice cream, maybe you pair it with some berries or, other kinds of fruits you like. Add those nuts on top. If you're someone who like absolutely loves peanut butter and is gonna sit there with a spoon of it, maybe eat it with an apple. What can you add to those sweet treats to maybe add a little bit more nutrition that actually is going to keep you fuller for longer. A bowl of vanilla ice cream won't keep me full, but if I add a bunch of berries and maybe some nuts for healthy fats, maybe I'll be a little fuller. So something to think about. What can you add?
Well said. Also, even just keeping like a bag of frozen vegetables on hand, and just ask yourself like, hey, can I throw this in the pasta I'm making? Or what if I mix this with the rice I have on hand? Or maybe I'll just try throwing it in the mac and cheese today and see what the kids think about that. And just keeping those little things in mind on, again, just like what you can do to enhance your meal. Another thing that can be unhealthy if you're not using it in moderation is like sauces or like mayo for sandwiches and that sort of thing. What I've been doing a ton lately is substituting the sauce for just like fresh avocado or mashed avocado. And it kind of gives that, I guess, like more like fat content or like sort of like creaminess to the sandwich or whatever, but it doesn't have all the like additional additives and unhealthy items in it as well. So avocados are definitely a superfood and something that you should use when you can. But
Yeah.
that's most of what I had, Mallory. Just on making sure that you're not viewing healthy eating as all or nothing, but like, hey, what can I do to get a little bit better today and build healthy habits, and over time, really have a more sustainable diet.
Yeah, and I think this is especially just important in the summer. A lot of us are just, on vacations more. Like we just we're enjoying time with friends and family. We're maybe not eating as healthy as we usually do, but it's not about getting hard on yourself. It's not about going on a crash diet, to make up for it. It's, taking these little ways that are going to add up significantly over time and, thinking about these small changes you can do. So, again, you don't have to be perfect, but maybe there's a few things you can change this week to eat a little healthier.
Well said, and just like our quick movement plug, because we're insole business and love feel better, do more. Also, just like taking a walk after you eat really can do you a lot of good as well. And if you're on that walk and your feet start to hurt or whatever, maybe try some orange insoles. You can find them at orangeinsoles.com or Amazon. We have a solution for any shoe, guaranteed. That's right, guaranteed. So if you don't absolutely love them, we'll send your money back. But that is today's episode. We appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of Orange Juice.